Flashback.
The thing that needs explaining as I try not to die walking down to the basement is that I freaking love how sick our home gym is. I love all the equipment. I love how awesome it is to have this in the basement, but I don't always love training down here. And I think the reason that is entirely to do with people, because when we go into the city to train and the whole crew's there and everyone's just like feeding off each other and supporting each other, it becomes so freaking easy to bring it no matter the circumstances. And then in the basement, like, it's just us. And not that I entirely hate training with Vienna, but when you're surrounded by a room of people that are also going for it, like, it's just easier to bring the energy, for me at least, than training here alone. And I do wish that we could get people down here to train more often, but like, reality is that everyone else in the crew has real jobs in the city, and it would be much more inconvenient for them to drive out here to the middle of nowhere versus us heading in. So sadly, the only real times that we do utilize this right now is in the winter when it's minus 30 outside, because the biggest benefit of training in the basement is that we can crank the freaking dryer on full blast, get it pumping out some heat, and it is much nicer to train in a warm, cozy basement than it is in a freezing cold gym without heat when it's minus 28 outside. To be clear, we also have clothes in the dryer. We're not just wasting precious electricity. Anyways, it is still Dr. Seth, still working my way down to getting as lean as I possibly can by the summer so that I can build up better with a better body composition into my next powerlifting meet. And it is day 50 of this winter cut, down to 260 this morning, which I'm really stoked on. And what I posted in the team today was kind of talking about the direction I want to go with the diet. And I think, like, the biggest thing that I need to do right now in terms of continuing this cut as well as possible is not getting too excited, even though the pounds are coming off like very easily right now. But the temptation is to drop calories lower because, like, if it's working fast, I might as well make it work faster. But I think the thing that I need to do is make as little changes as possible in order to maintain the progress, because the problem that I don't want to run into is the same problem that I ran into last year, where calories were way too freaking low and I really had nowhere else left to pull from. And I don't want to get stuck again and have to do another bit of diet reset before we reach the end target. And it is my dynamic effort squat day, max effort pull day. And the one thing I'm not super excited about being down here with is that all my fancy bars are in at TSE. So I wasn't really intending running the straight bar today until I looked outside this morning, but we're gonna get under the straight bar for the speed squats. What do you think of this box depth? Should I raise it up a little bit? Yeah, okay. Yeah, please. Also, pro tip for setting up bands in the mono is take the mono all the way down and put the bands on, because they're going to be a lot easier to get it on. And the only thing you got to be aware of with that is that as the mono lifts back up, this is going to come out a little bit. So when I'm setting them up from the bottom, I'm making sure that the bands are a little bit further back than straight under the bar. That way, when the mono is up to my height, they're straight up and down. Also, it's been so freaking long since I've squatted down here that I really have no clue where my racket should be, especially in the flats. Come on. Come on, up. Yeah, good puppy. And this is the real #1 best reason for training in the basement, because Cooper is going to get all of the YouTube likes today. Gym dog, gym dog, gym dog. And Cooper loves to run underneath the deadlift bar, so I'm on dog holding duty while Miata's pulling. Yep. Long. Good. Whoa, she's so strong. That was my Cooper voice, to be clear. Woo! And my glutes are still sore as shit from the glute machine extravaganza on Monday. And adductors are still a little bit sore from Saturday squats. So I think I'm going to take 2 reds for a whirl, see how it moves, see how it feels, and then make the best call I can for top set loading. Cooper! Cooper! Come here! Come here! Come here! Come on! Come on! Yeah, good puppy. But Miana's got to pull her set first. Yes! That was it! Harder in! Yeah! Good. Wasn't expecting 4. Yeah. Cooper agrees. Yeah, that was better. Good deadlifts. Should I make this title Trading the World's Smallest Gym? Okay, so glutes off the pick and carry them all the way to the bottom.
There you go, better.
And other than autofocus not grabbing me at all there, felt good enough that I think we'll go blue. And because I don't love having 0 spotters with something that should be moderately hard, getting the spare safety straps out because the real safety straps are at the real gym. Because, like, worst case, especially with an idiot dog running around, I don't want the bar hitting the floor.
What? More into your chin. Tighter. Better. Head. There you go. 4, yeah, you're good.
Okay, first set sucked, so we gotta do better.
Head pack. Big one. Better. Head pack. Lock it in. Good.
Yeah, and more okay with that one. This is much less fun without Darrell to go back and forth with.
List. Yeah. Squat. That was good. Yeah. Yep. Pack. Yep.
I think some of it might be that I have the mono a little bit high, so we'll see if dropping it helps.
Patience. Better head. Yeah. That's better. Keep the head. Keep it. Better. Keep your head. Hold it. You're in. Head. Yeah. Keep your head better. That's it. Yep. You're in.
Thank you. So that wasn't as good as I would have wanted it to be. It was definitely a little bit more frustrating than I wanted it to be, but at least it got better. And I was kind of reminded of something that I already knew, and that is that, like, the reason I don't really love spending a lot of time on the Buffalo bar is that, The buffalo bar kind of lets me be a little bit lackadaisical with how solid my shelf is, just because the buffalo bar can't roll. And like going back to the straight bar with band tension, like straight bar with band tension was like, holy fuck, this thing's gonna fucking fall off my back. And that sucked at the beginning, but it made me get better at my head pack, made me get better at my upper back set. So I'm kind of glad that I went through that shittiness, because I bet the head pack and the upper back set is probably going to be at least a little bit better for Saturday's squats. And what I'm thinking for today's max upper deadlift variation will be probably something equally as frustrating, because we're going to run a itty bit of a deficit just so that I can ease into the hook grip adventure with a little bit of limited load so I don't actually rip my thumbs off. And another reason that I'm trying to run deficits right now is back when I was a fat guy, I never really ran deficits because I didn't get a lot out of them. And the reason that was is like when I was fatter, I was so limited in my position that I could get to the bar that I'd end up like so compact and so rounded over and so able to play it with my strengths that pulling off a deficit, I kind of just got good at pulling off a deficit. Going back to the floor, I was so limited in my tension that I never really seemed to get carryover from it. But now that I have more room to get to the bar and my ankles are less limited, I'm very curious to see if I can actually use them to my advantage.
The funny thing about this setup with the little deficit and the hook grip is it looks like his deadlift 40 pounds ago. So
I think I gotta roll the bar back too, because like landing on that crack and just like making it jolt away a little bit.
I think that might.
I lost my belt in the basement somehow. Like, giant ass gym, I can keep track of it. Tiny little basement, barely enough room to move, I seem to lose it. But what do you know, I probably put it in the most responsible place I possibly could have, which is with my gym bag. And I really don't know if the belt is going to help me or hurt me off the deficit, so I guess we're going to find out together. Definitely helped. Also, in case anyone's wondering, hook grip on a virtually brand new Texas Power Bar hurts a whole lot more than one that's like 15 years old and really worn out. So I'm having fun. And just because we got so much new going on here today, I'm going to go with a medium jump just so I don't load something accidentally heavier than I probably should be going. Okay, goal here, make it look good enough that going up isn't going to be a bad idea. Yeah, I think we can go 270. Okay, more assertive lat set, and we got ourselves a special little treat.
Yeah.
Bah!
Find it. Yeah. Big wedge. Yeah. Good.
We're going 3. And I was struggling a little bit with hook feeling secure. And I remembered a little trick that I was doing last week that I forgot about earlier. But what I was doing last week is once I was on the bar, to stop me from squeezing it too high, I actually try to push my thumb into my index finger as I was taking slack out. And that made sure that I was staying super freaking low in the hand. And then 0 wiggle.
Find it. Oh, yeah.
Man, that was harder than I wanted, but hook held. And now get ready for the sickest transition of all time. That was kind of silly, right? But Miana made me promise that I'd take her to the local commercial gym so she could play on machines. But first thing on the docket for me is I gotta run my stiff legs. Wanted to go straight to 405 to scare the normies, but there's a shortage of 45-pound plates, so slap some 25s on there. So I guess it is 415. Watch me just blow up my spine and embarrass myself in front of all the skinny people. Even though that is a very girthy, very stiff bar, that felt much nicer than the deficit I have been doing the stiffies off of. And there are more 45s available now, but I figured we're on the 25 theme, so 465. And depending on how cooked I feel after the deficits, this might be top set, might not be. We shall see. Probably felt better than the 415, so we'll go up. Update, there is now a shortage of 25, so we're going 505. And Miana is now unloading the hack squat, so I gotta hurry my ass up and pull this before someone takes it, even though I still have a little bit of a back pump. Figure 5's enough there.
Yeah.
Woo! Oh, and almost forgot, put the new shirt on for the new gym because I didn't want to come in here absolutely covered in chalk. And yeah, I am running hacks instead of leg press on my Wednesday slot because I feel like Saturday was kicking my ass a little bit harder than I wanted, and that running the 2 leg press slots was a little bit redundant as well. So Wednesdays are now going to be hack squat day, and thinking to make it a little bit less loaded so I don't totally die, gonna go with the ultra low, heels coming a little bit up, Tom Platz kinda halfway intent. And I definitely underestimated how heavy this would be for my first set, so this might be working loads for today. Gotta figure out this machine. It's so differently angled than the one at Strength Edge. There we go, we're grooving. That cooked me much harder than I was expecting. And very tight rest, so probably gonna die, but goal for set 2 is, now we've got the machine a little bit more figured out, gonna try to smooth out the reps just a touch. yeah, it feels much less like I'm at physical danger. In physical danger, that's what I meant to say. Actually thinking might slap a plate on for set 3. Okay, got a feeling that this one might kind of suck, so yay. Yeah, that kind of sucked. But very glad we did that because oh so juicy on the knees. And because there's no good spot to run Nordics here, I'm gonna just do like 10 million back and forth sets on the standing leg curl before we go do another leg curl machine. Depending on what's open, I don't know yet. Might go seated, might go lying. It'll just be whatever's the easiest to get into. And I'm gonna shut up and start going on the back and forth. If you guys can't tell, going back and forth on unilateral exercises is one of my favorite protocols to get just a disgusting amount of pumpage in. And yeah, I do realize that maybe I am missing out on the pure mechanical tension growth component with this kind of protocol, and maybe I'm catching a little bit extra fatigue. But the thing about fatigue is that as long as we're managing it well and making good choices around it, we can gradually maintain or at least titrate up work capacity. I guess like right now in the context of the cut, the goal is more maintenance than anything, trying to make sure that I don't get out of shape so that when it does come time to push, everything is in shape to actually push higher loading. Feels so weird just babbling at nothing right now in a commercial gym. And we're feeling pretty cookered at this point, but figure we'll do this round and then one more. Can't confirm, quite cookered. Okay, last round, at least a couple of good ones before we die. Ooh. So nice. So very nice. And due to equipment availability at the moment, we're gonna hit the row before we go do more hamstrings. Are you gonna hit the row or are you just gonna stand there?
I'm trying to get my AirPods to work.
Well, hurry up. The vlog's waiting. This is taking like 3 hours for it to get going. And I'm trying to go a little bit more latty than upper backy in this slot, so gonna grab onto the lower handles, and I have no idea what to expect based on what Miana was doing. This feels okay actually.
Yeah.
Like it's really good contraction.
Yeah.
It feels like it'd be awkward to load heavy and do well though.
Yeah. It's like if you're like pumping squeezy.
Yeah, but the strength curve kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. In that case, we'll just pumpy squeezy it. And I think I'm gonna try dropping this guy little bit forward, this guy a little bit down, see if that gets me a little bit better angle. Actually got to bring it back here, that was too much. Oh yeah, that is worlds better. And to be clear, even though I did get it feeling a little bit better there, still definitely not a big fan of this guy. And if I had it my way, I would definitely be on another upper back option for this slot. I guess lat option. This is more lat than upper back. What am I saying?
Yeah, get it right.
Yeah, like really good contraction, but it's just like awkward. It's like the exact opposite of the Panada machine.
I try to like pull it like in and down on the hand.
Yeah, I'm trying to guide down, like drive elbows low, but still weird.
Yeah.
Very glad that we are done with that bullshit, which is just in time to jam out on this bullshit because the machine just opened up. And I'm thinking that this might be a better option for me than running the leg curls because we all know that I'm missing a little bit of butt cheek. But we'll also definitely have to go up because this thing is very light. I also should open it up to actually be able to adjust the plates. Can tell how often I use this sort of machine. More appropriate loading. Daxido works it there for sure. Oh boy. Yeah, this is much harder than I had anticipated. Should probably start doing this more often when I'm here for cardio. Oh. 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 And I think I'm just gonna kind of like rest pause this sucker until I die, just so I don't have to spend too much time embarrassing myself sitting on here.
Has anyone ever told you that you're a bad girl?
No. Oh, yeah, butt cheeks roasting. A couple more breaths and we'll go again. Cannot believe how freaking hard this stupid thing feels right now. Huh? Yeah, I will. Tanner's over there in the elliptical. I should go put him in the vlog. Okay. Am dying. One more round. Very glad that is over with. And I don't know if you guys remember the day I was complaining about having a really shitty deadlift because I had to move a piano the night before, but that was this guy's fault.
Did you hurt yourself on the piano?
Kind of jacked up my SI joint just a little bit, but wasn't the biggest deal. It was enough to like be like, oh, it's there, but not to fuck anything up.
20,000 pounds. I could have done it
Yeah,
myself.
yeah, you could have done it yourself easily. But yeah, we grew up beside each other as kids, and then he did a bunch of undergrad classes with my roommates that were in geology,
Yeah,
and now
that's
we
right.
live right beside each other as adults. So
Full circle.
he's following me around, I guess.
Circle of life.
But I'll stop bugging him so we can go get in shape to climb mountains and bullshit. And I figure we're here, gonna do something a little bit questionable for ab work, but the Bosu ball leg raise feels so freaking good. And like I have one client that has one of these in his gym, and we do it with him like weekly. And I don't freaking know why. I think it's like because you can like dead bug into the ball so hard, and then it forces extension. We can really like get lumbar flexion into it. Feels so much gnarlier than a normal leg raise. And once again, I probably should be loading this, but because I don't want to go over and grab a kettlebell, we're just gonna do a bunch of reps. So yeah, probably won't film the second set here either. Also because the camera's like in the middle of a main laneway of the gym, and I don't want to be that guy that's totally getting in everyone's way for too much longer than I have to. Update after 3 sets of that. Definitely am envious of Kevin and having one of these that he can jam out on every single week. All done here, so we're gonna get rolling home. But fancy transition round 2. Gonna be total shit, I guarantee it. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
I don't know if that transition is going to work or not. But, I don't know. Not thrilled with box squats, but like I was saying, like, I'm glad that I was reminded that the Buffalo bar makes me lazy with my pick and my upper back and my head and my everything. So I probably should, you know, do more straight bar squatting on my speed day if I want to be good at the straight bar, because like even though I'm doing it on the main squat day, like the main squat day is so light, and then when I put the bands on the speed day, it's like, holy shit, this freaking sucks. It just feels like the bar is going to fall off me. So I do need to keep that in a little bit more regularly, just so I don't forget what it feels like to pick something moderately heavy with a straight bar, I guess. And I don't know, deficit experiment, that was Miana's idea, and like not sold on it yet. Happy with how it went. And I think like what I'll probably do is I'll run like deficit this week, I'll run block the next week, I'll run floor the next week, and then run back to a deficit and keep it in for a little bit, just so I can kind of like pay attention to what it's doing for me. And I think like the thing that I got to keep in mind is that like right now with where calories are, I probably shouldn't be too worried with about like weight on the bar getting stronger. And what I need to be paying attention to is like how relatively assertive does my start position feel compared to my relative strength level. And I think that that'll be kind of the best way to meter whether or not the deficit's doing something in the short term while I'm cutting. And if it feels like it's doing something in the short term while I'm cutting, I'll probably want to keep it in the long term when I'm trying to be strong again. So looking forward to being able to eat more food than the sad amount I am right now. And like I keep talking about how it doesn't feel too bad yet, and it doesn't feel too bad yet, but it's still like I know there's a long road ahead of eating less and less and less until mid-summer to get this show on the road. So we're going to keep getting the show on the road. And if you guys need help with your training, as always, hit the link below, join the team. We're both in there and giving advice on a daily basis to everyone in there, looking at every video that gets posted, answering every question that gets questioned. So it's not like you're just in there getting advice from randoms. Like it is actually me doing the answering and the analysis. So trying to just help as many people as I can directly with that. So get in there, best value in powerlifting coaching. Plus, we are running lectures every single week right now to better your education as well. So that's enough of a sales pitch. I got to go to bed. So peace out. Have a good night.
Cooper, bring your toy. Bring your toy. Ugh.
Mm. One last thing, Miana just played fetch with Cooper, and Cooper brought a toy that was covered in dog poop, so she's now washing her hand. Gym dog, gym dog, gym dog, gym dog.